Hey, this is Cameron Fields here, and I have one question. Have you ever thought, man, I should be using social media to grow my business, but you don't know where to start? Or maybe you have already tried running traffic on social media and you're like, man, them Facebook ads don't work. Well, if you're any of the two business owners I just described, then I want to share with you my 5-step method called SCORE that will help any, and I mean any business make money using social media. Well, don't believe me? Here's the proof. As you can see, here's a batch out from my merchant that we generated $1,632.61 from 30 transactions, and that was just one day. Here's another net batch out that we generated $2,079.19 from 37 transactions, and that was also in one day. Here's another net batch out that we only generated $965.52 off of 21 transactions. Now, I'm not showing you any of this to brag, but to simply show you, if done right, social media is powerful. So let's jump right into the SCORE method so I can show you exactly how you can get the same results that I'm getting with my business utilizing. All right, so let's break down the SCORE method, okay? Now, this is really powerful because normally I only share this with students or clients. So I'm feeling really great today. So I definitely want you guys to really take this serious because you're going to learn a lot. And after this, you're going to be able to apply this so that you can have successful money-making campaigns on any social media platform, okay? So let's get to it. So the first thing in the SCORE method, of course, is the S, and the S stands for your strategy, okay? Now, 99% of the times when I'm sitting down with the customer, I ask them, what's your strategy? And they don't have one. And so I strongly urge you to take your business serious. And by taking your business serious, you definitely want to have a strategy because your strategy is definitely like your roadmap, your process. Okay. So basically how I build out strategies. And it can get very in-depth, but for this video, I'm just going to kind of just give you like a brief example. But let's just say you had an income goal of $5,000 a month. You're starting off and you're saying, listen, I just want to get to $5,000 a month. So that will be our first goal, right? And so what I would do is, we reverse engineer it. And I would say, okay, well, how much we need to make a day, which will be $166 a day, every single day to be on track to hitting $5,000. Now, once we figure out, what's our income goal, then we create our process, right? Our framework. So that way we know what we have to do day in and day out in order to hit this $166 goal so that by the end of the month, 30 days from, 30 days later, you will hit your goal. Now, I typically do is I sit down and I say, okay, what do we have? What products do we have? And we look at the products, as far as how much the products are costing us, how much we're selling them for. So in this case, let's say we had, a product that we was netting $16, okay? That means after the product cost, we are left over with $16. So if you do the math, it's only 10 sales a day of that particular product. So that'll get us on track to hitting $166 a day. And that will help us to hit our monthly goal of $5,000. And, it could be just like different stuff. But what you really want to know is okay, where I'm trying to go and how am I trying to, how I'm going to get there? What's the mechanism? What's the thing that's going to take me there? What's the product? And then, of course, we'll talk about this a little later, but the traffic sources and all that other stuff. All right. Now, once we got our strategy in place, the second thing we need to do, which is the C in the SCORE method, is the collection of data, to collect data, right? And what I mean by collect data is more or less knowing who your audience is. Who is the ideal audience, right? What's their pain points? What's their fears? What's their frustrations, right? Because the reason why you want to know this information is simply because this is going to help you create compelling message, right? So when you're running ads on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, you know what to write. Because the first thing you have to do is you have to get your audience's attention. And that's really half the battle, because once you get their audience attention, now you got them, right? You have 3 seconds or 5 seconds to, let them read the actual ad. But if you don't know what their pain points or what their frustrations are, how can you get them to stop and read? And better yet, how can you compel them to move over to the next thing, which is clicking on the link to go to your website? So having that data, knowing exactly what they are facing, what are they, what they're frustrated is super important. Now, the other type of data you want to collect is you want to collect your competitors' um, data, right? You want to know what is working and what's not working, for your competitors, and these could be indirect competitors or direct competitors. So you definitely want to actually know, everything you can about your not only your target audience, but also to your competitors. Now, that brings me to the O in SCORE method, which is organize lead flow, right? This is your funnel, right? And this is the most exciting part, because once you get this, right? Because if you get this right, you will produce a money-making flow. It's like you're building your own ATM, let's say, because this here will work for you day in, day out, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Will never call out, would never say I'm sick, will never quit on you. It'll always work on your behalf. So this here is definitely like the most important part, right? Because this is going to be how the customer journey, like what they're going to go through. And so here's a look at a funnel. Okay, so this is an organized lead flow, and as you can see here, we have the traffic at the top, the first arrow where it says traffic, and then you have the landing page where it goes from traffic to the landing page. Now, this is a complete funnel flow. Okay, it has your retargeting pixels, it has everything that you need. Now, of course, there's different types of funnels. It just depends on what your strategy is and what you're trying to accomplish. But this is super important that you have this set up before you even run traffic. All right, so now at this point, we have our strategy. We already collected our data. We completed our entire funnel, and now we run traffic. And see, this is the biggest mistake that most business owners do, is that they start with running traffic first before they have a strategy, before they collect data, before they have a complete funnel flow. And that's the reason why they don't see success. Because you don't know, you don't have a strategy, number one. You don't know who your audience is, so you can't attract them. And you don't have an organized lead flow to work on your behalf while you're sleeping. So, you got to expect that you're never going to make money if you don't have these things in place. So, running traffic is really fairly easy, but you got to keep in mind the platform that you're on. So, for an example, running traffic on Facebook is different than running traffic on YouTube. And the reason why is because the mindset of the individual. So, someone on Facebook, they're not really looking to, how to build their business, right? They're not typing into Facebook and saying, how can I make more money, right? They're on Facebook looking at their friends, their family, and just social, like just really being social. But on YouTube, which we call intent traffic, that's people who are in like intentionally typing in how to do so and so, right? And so if you do it right, when someone types in how to take better pictures, and you have a photo studio, you can show up in front of that person when they type in that keyword if you do it right. That's on YouTube. So you got to understand, different platforms are going to, you're going to have to use different types of ads, okay, and different types of content. So that's running traffic. So now, after you got your traffic and you're running it, the last thing you want to do in a SCORE method is evaluate the process, right? Evaluate the traffic. And so what I mean by evaluating, and also too, this is another reason why people don't succeed when they're running traffic on running paid traffic, because they don't evaluate anything. They just throw up a $5 a day ad set and just hope and pray they get a sale. And that's not how you really do it, because typically, let's say you had $500 to test ads. What you want to do is you want to spend at least $50 a day. And that's 10 different ad sets. Now, if you don't know this, um, you know, ad sets pretty much the place where you tell Facebook who you're going to target, whether it's age, demographic, I'm sorry, age, or male, female, what interest, and so forth and so on. There's a lot of different strategies you can use in an ad set level. But once you have one ad set up at $5 a day, then you want to do 9 more. So you have a total of 10 ad sets spending $5 each. Now, right now, Facebook has it to where you can still have the budget at the ad set level. But in the future, I think it's 2020, in the beginning, I think they're going to switch it over to where it's going to be campaign budget optimization, which means that you're going to set the budget at the campaign level. But that's you don't have to worry about that right now. But what I'm trying to say to you is that once you have those ad sets set up, then what you need to do is now you need to look at the data, right? You need to look at seeing how much is it costing you per click, how much is it costing you per lead, or how much is it costing you per, to get a customer, what's the engagement, what's the reach, what's the, quality score, what's your, your relevant score, So you want to look at all that stuff because that's so important. Most people don't even go in and look at what's the most important thing, which is, hey, how much is it costing me? What's my return on my investment? I mean, am I getting people clicking on it? Is it costing me an arm and a leg to get these clicks? If so, let me turn this ad set off. Or, let me tweak something here. Maybe I got the wrong message, or maybe my wording isn't right. That's why the CN score is important, because you have to collect that data in order for you to get people's attention so that they can read your ad and then click on it. Because here's something most people don't know. Facebook rewards you when you have a high click-through rate. Because if you have a high click-through rate, that means that your message is number one, is making Facebook money. Number two, it's showing Facebook that, hey, this content is actually sticking. People are liking it. They're commenting on it. They're sharing it. They're liking it. If you got that type of engagement, you're going to really, really, really get some good reach, number one. And two, they're going to lower your cost per click. So that's kind of like a method that I do when I'm trying to lower my cost per click, is I try to get my relevant score up, quality score up, so that way I get these clicks cheaper. Because here's the deal. If we're getting $1 click to our website, and let's say 1 out of 5 people are opting in, or let's say opting in because we're doing leads, then that's going to cost us $5 per lead. So if I want to cut that in half, all I have to do is decrease my cost per click by tweaking some things, maybe making it more compelling offer. And the only way you can make a compelling offer is if you know your audience. And that's why, once again, collecting that data and the second step is super important. You can't skip any of these steps. This score method is built to go in the order that it is. So, but once you do that, like I said, and you want to lower your cost per click, and let's say you're now getting 50 cents a click, now 1 out of 5 people opt in. Now instead of $5 a lead, now it's $2.50 a lead. And let's say 1 out of 10 people bought from you, then that's a $25 customer acquisition, right? It costs you every $25 you spend, you get a customer, right? So that's just some math, but I don't want to confuse you guys. But as you can see, this is what you have to do. You have to get your strategy, you have to collect data, you have to build out your organized lead flow, then you want to run traffic. Now, one thing about traffic, don't try to run YouTube, Facebook, Bing, all these different ads. I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, really, stick with one, get that to work, get that to be profitable, and then you move on to the next ad source. Traffic source. And then after that, then you evaluate. You look at, see what's working. Is it more males clicking on my ad? Is it more females clicking on my ad? What's my cost per click? Okay, is it something I can live with, right? And then see how many people are going to your page, and what's your conversion rate on your pages. Are you getting a 20%, 30%, 50% conversion rate? Those are the things that you really want to look at. Okay, now I know I said a whole bunch of stuff here on this short video. So if you want me to help you build out the SCORE method, right? Help you with your strategy, help you to collect the data. I will share with you how I do it, right? What programs I use, what sites I use, so I can spy on my competitors, so I can really get to know my customers' hot buttons, what they like, what they don't like. Also, too, I will build out, or there's two options. I can build out your funnel for you, or I can build it with you. Okay, and then we'll set up some traffic. We'll, either YouTube, Facebook, or it just depends on your business, what you actually want to do, or what's your goal. All right. So, and like I said, some traffic sources are better to start off with than others, but it just depends. And then, of course, I will evaluate your ads and see what's working and what's not working. All right. So there's a button down below that says, let's get going. Click on that, and it's going to be like a short little survey. Fill out that survey, and I will be in touch with you, and we could just start going through all this here. And we'll start with a strategy. And I will give you that for free. And then if it's a fit, because I can't work with everyone, but if we're a fit with each other, if we agree that it's time to move to the next level, then that's when we'll continue building out your rest of your funnel and everything like that. So definitely, if you're interested. At the same time, you're gonna learn a lot. Okay, you're gonna learn so much, because one thing is, it's like that saying: you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man how to fish, and he eats for a lifetime. And I want to just help as many people as possible understand the social media platform, because it's so powerful, and there's really a small little window before all these major companies come in and skyrocket the ad costs, which they're already doing, but there's still room and there's still time to get here and get super rich and make a lot of money really quick utilizing social media. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you, or I will speak to you soon.